Everyone has their own favourite players, and let's be honest, we have them for lots of reasons. Either they are fun to watch, or you can somewhat relate to them on like an emotional level, or they just make your team really, really good. And let's be honest, you've heard most of mine by now. We've got Ilan Meslier on the list because I quite like goalkeepers. You've got Junior Firpo on the list because I've been forced to play as a left back in the past and wasn't very good at it. I can relate to him in that sense. And you've also got the likes of Patrick Bamford, who I just like because I feel a little bit bad for him, I think. I'm sure there's a therapy session deep in there somewhere. But as Leeds United fans, a lot of us are big fans of Pablo Hernandez. And, thankfully, changing things up a little bit, Leeds United are targeting someone that has been described as the new Pablo for a permanent deal in this transfer window. So, what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to run through who exactly Leeds United are hunting down, how exactly he plays, what a deal could look like if he were to try and come to Leeds United, if he actually fits in the side, is there competition to complete this signing, and ultimately at the end of the day, should we get this one done before we go into a fun little different segment. But I'll get into that in a little bit more detail later on. First up, we need to talk about who exactly Leeds United are hunting, and his name is Ilan Kebal. He is a French professional footballer who also plays for Algeria, so basically Algerian French nationality, has been called up to their national team, so technically Algerian footballer, but he's lived in France for all of his life. Plays either as a right winger or a number 10 and has been widely renowned for a very, very, very fun passing game. For an idea of how well he has done, I'm just going to bring up his page on Transfermarkt again so I know what's going on here. He has moved very, very quickly up the ranks. He went from USL Dunkirk to Stade Rennes to Paris FC in no time at all. And now, after a couple of seasons at Paris FC, clubs are just eyeing up this guy and going, actually, yeah, you know what? Let's sign him because he seems like a very, very good player. How exactly he plays is not really a bone of contention because it's fairly obvious. The way he plays is he tends to start out on the right wing and is very, very good at cutting into the inside. But there's also, having a look at his heat map, a big old splodge down the middle. Cases in which he has played in the number 10. So he's happy to drift from right to left. And with that passing that I mentioned earlier, happy to unlock a very, very deep sitting defence. Now, a lot of people have sort of asked the question of, yeah, sure, this is nice, but he plays in Ligue 2, so I don't know how exactly that compares to the Championship. Ligue 2 is not a dreadful level to be playing at, to be completely clear. He's very, very clearly proven himself to be one of the best players, not only at Paris FC, but in Ligue 2 in its entirety, and very, very likely would be ready to make a move up to Ligue 1, because he's good enough for it. And the fact that he's good enough for it makes things a little bit complicated at the same time, because you never know what exactly a deal could look like. When it comes to Leeds United, after all this window, you don't know whether a deal will look like anything at all. So, looking back at his transfer history, his last move was Stade Rennes to Paris FC. That happened last July on the 10th, and the overall fee was €2 million. So, not that much. Admittedly, him having a really good season last year will push that valuation up a little bit higher. He played 41 times, 11 goals, 8 assists, and has, if I remember correctly, played once this season already and scored, which is a really, really good position to be in. So that'll push his value above the €2 million mark, but I couldn't see it being in the rough sort of area of a Dejan Ljubicic. So €3 to €5 million would very, very probably get this move done. And you're looking at it and you're thinking, this is a really good deal for Leeds. He's a good footballer in an affordable position in a division that is of a lower standard than us, so we represent a step up. What's the catch? The initial thought that I had was that the catch would be that there would potentially be quite a bit of competition for his signing. So the initial sort of messages that were going around, and I can't quite remember what the website was that dropped the news. It's not coming to mind. It's fine. But the website that sort of dropped the news said Leeds United and Burnley are looking at this guy. Since then, I've heard word from various different places that Burnley necessarily aren't that interested in signing him. They've got their own targets, so it looks like it'll be a free and open run at this guy, which is very, very nice, because it means that there is no chance of us getting shut out of it. And the best bit is, does he fit the side? Absolutely. We don't have a creative number 10 at all. We're struggling in midfield as a whole. And this right wing is, Jesus, not comfy. We've got, what, Dan James? Nonto doesn't like it that much over there. Aronson, I don't think would like it over there either. I prefer him as a 10, I'll be completely honest with you. So we desperately need another right winger. He can play there. We need another number 10. He can play there. I would want him and one more in those attacking positions just for a little bit more depth and safety. But the question at the end of the day is ultimately, should we get it done? And I am firmly, without a doubt, in the position of absolutely. We definitely should get this done. It's affordable, he's a quality player, and it's that sort of level of sum where if it goes wrong, we've lost very little. Effectively nothing. It's fine. But, as always, that's what I think, and I want to know what you think. But this time I'll do it very slightly differently. I'm going to bring something over from my live streams. Basically, I'm live streaming this little bit right now as I'm recording, because I kind of wanted to know the opinion of the chat at the same time. So, if you haven't voted yet on the poll, if you are on the live stream, go and do that. Answer whether or not we should sign Elan Cabal. And at the same time, let's hop over to Questions Corner, in which we'll answer a couple of the major questions that are being thrown around about the sort of Leeds United side right now, specifically about the Cabal thing. If you guys are able to, that'll make things a lot more on topic, but that should sort of make things a little bit more discussable to go off of. First question, this is a pretty fair question, to be honest with you. Is he injury prone? Asks Mitchell Bond, and I completely forgot to check this despite the fact that he asked the question on the live stream before I did this. He's had a couple of injuries. Last season, he had an injury that basically happened at the end of the season, and it went until the end of June. Now, looking at that, you think that's not great, but at the same time, he basically just missed the last match of the season, which is fine, I think. There's no serious risk to that, and it's not exactly an ongoing issue, I don't think. He's had a couple of injuries, but none of them have been ones that will take him out for an extended period. It's not like he's someone that's got a really, really bad broken adductor or anything. He'll be fine enough. Second of the questions from Colin. I want Benson. What are your thoughts on him? I think there's a reason that Benson doesn't get any football in the Premier League. And I think if we want to be looking forwards, I think signing Manuel Benson for a significant sum of money would be a bad idea, purely because it wouldn't particularly make that much sense for us. And there is this fact that Matthew Smith is bringing up in the comments, which is I don't see Burnley necessarily selling to a rival. I think that would be a bad move on their part. I don't think it's a good move on our part. And at the end of the day, I don't think it all adds up. It's a tough one. Finally, Degenerate Yellow. Why are we signing a 26-year-old from the French second division? Because we've waited too long to sign all of our first targets. So now we are having to cast the net a little bit wider, scout players from across Europe, and find those that will effectively give us a chance at getting promoted whilst not having already been signed from other places. Is basically it, at least in my opinion. But, as I've said, that's all what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Also, pop along to some of these nighttime streams. I think they're great fun. I'm calling them Late Night Leeds. Ooh, it's like a chill vibe. At least I think the vibe is nice and chill. Anyone that pops along to the streams, just go in the comments of the video, not the live stream, and be like, yeah, it's a chill vibe. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe. You can even become a channel member. It's 99p for a month, and you will get videos like this early because I record them on an evening and I put them out on like 7 a.m. the next day. So it's pretty good. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you later. Cool. Oh, I didn't do the after video bit. I guess this is the after video bit. It's fine.